是10月13号，2025年。这个文章是贸易战再次升级对中国关系意味着什么 ？China flags, Trump hit back. So much for the Thaw. As the trade war between the United States and China kicked back into high gear after a period of tentative detente, it was clear just now just how vast the gulf of misunderstanding between the two superpowers had become. President Trump said that he had been blindsided by China's new controls on rare earth metals and products made from them. Announced earlier in the week, amid what he had called a very good relationship in recent months. Chinese commentators insisted that Beijing was only responding to new attacks from the United States and that Washington was the provocateur because it had ramped up technological restrictions on China while professing goodwill. Both sides also seemed convinced that they had the advantage and that the other side had overplayed its hand. The blame game continued on Saturday as China woke up to Mr. Trump's announcement that he would impose new 100% tariffs on Chinese imports from November 1. The Chinese government on Sunday accused the United States of double standards, saying its rare earth export control was normal, and that it was Americans that had long abused such controls and adopted discriminatory practice against China in the name of national security. On the other side of more tariff, the Commerce Ministry said the two sides should resolve issues through talks, but China would take measures in response if the United States insists on its own course. China's position on a tariff war is consistent. We do not want one, but we are not afraid of one either, the ministry said in a statement. President Trump's tariff threat highlighted the huge stakes involved in having control over the raw materials and technologies, such as rare earths, metals, and batteries, that will power the next generation of industry. But if neither side backs down, the new hostilities seem all but certain to spill beyond trade. They could also affect other areas that the two countries had been hoping to make headway on in their relationship, such as military-to-military communication and the governance of artificial intelligence. The situation is quite surprising, considering that there have already been 4 rounds of China-US trade negotiations. Zhu Feng, a professor of international relations at Nanjing University, said in an interview, referring to meetings between officials since May that had taken place in Geneva, London, Stockholm, and Madrid. President Trump said last month that he had also expected to meet with China's leader Xi Jinping in person in South Korea this month, but on Friday he said, "Now there seems to be no reason to do so. This is a very stark reminder that the fragility in China-US relations is depending, Professor Zhu said. The new trade tensions show that the United States and China defend the rivalry between them in fundamentally different ways. To Mr. Trump, issues such as trade and technology could be addressed separately. That is, the United States is best to be able to continue to escalate its technology restrictions on China while simultaneously seeking a big trade deal between the countries. But to China, trade and technology are part of what Beijing perceives as an all-around effort by the United States to suppress China. If the trade talks fail, I am deeply concerned that the all-fronts confrontation between the two sides will escalate, Professor Zhu said, while Mr. Trump, in a post on Truth Social, accused China of introducing its rare earth control out of nowhere. Chinese commentators maintained that the escalations was Washington's fault. What is Trump feeling wrong about? Hu Xijing, the influencer, former editor of Global Times, a Communist Party-controlled newspaper, wrote on Weibo, a social media platform. What is he angry about? He should first understand what the U.S. has done to China. Mr. Hu suggested the China's rare earth controls were merely a response to new measures from the United States targeting China, including expanding the list of Chinese companies to which it restricts exports. He said the country had grown more confident in its ability to endure intense pressure tactics from Washington. Chinese society is really not afraid of United States now, and high U.S. tariffs and other labels have lost their deterrent effort on China, he said by text message. Still, the sweep of China's new rare earth control struck many observers as the dramatic escalation. They prohibit any shipments of critical material to producers of military equipment in Europe and the United States, and bar the transfer out of China of equipment or information that will help other countries establish their own production. China's boldness may have stemmed from an assessment that Mr. Trump is in a weak position. Mr. Trump's trade negotiator proved willing earlier this summer to strike compromise on tariffs, and the president has expressed eagerness to visit China. China's boycott of soybean purchase from the United States has badly hurt American farmers. American domestic politics are in turmoil with the government shutdown, and despite promise by the United States to win its share of its reliance on China for rare earth metals, the prospect remains distant. China, on the other hand, is riding high from the large-scale military parade last month, at which it showcased advanced new weapons and reaffirmed its ties with Russia and North Korea. China certainly knew Trump would react strongly, and it didn't underestimate him, said Wang Yiwei, a professor of International Relations at Renmin University in Beijing, but there are several areas where China has the upper hand. China may be hoping to use its leverage to push Mr. Trump towards a bigger agreement on their issues in the US-China relationship beyond just trade, he said. Beijing also wants the Trump administration to make concessions on its support for Taiwan, the island democracy Beijing claims as its territory, as well as on the controls it has imposed on advanced semiconductor chips, which China needs for the development of artificial intelligence, among other emissions. China's tough measures may also be a signal to the domestic audience to have confidence. Despite the country's economy slowdown and the housing market crash, and it may be a message to other countries and regions, including the European Union, that have come under pressure from Washington to choose sides between the two superpowers that they should not underestimate China. This tells you that China is very confident and powerful. Professor Wang said, "Don't be afraid, don't be scarified China to carry favor with the United States." But some experts warned that Beijing has overplayed in its hand and that officials had miscalculated how aggressively Mr. Trump would respond. Yun Shun, the director of the China program at the Stimson Center in Washington, said Beijing had cultivated a dangerous new habit of underestimated America's willingness and capability to retaliate. China may have assumed that a summit between Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi was lucky in that the US was eager for a deal. The Trump administration backed down after first imposing additional tariffs in April of as much as 145%, leaving an extra tariff of 30%, while China has returned an extra tariff of 10% on American goods. While the US was showing goodwill, China showed a manifestation of American weakness, Dr. Shun wrote in an email. Professor Zhu of Nanjing University acknowledged that even as China moved to defend its interests, it should be cautious about Mr. Trump's unpredictability. If the trade war escalates further, that is definitely not in China's interest, he said. Indeed, should Mr. Trump additional 100% tariff on Chinese goods take efforts, they could better the economy even more. Exports to the United States, either directly or through countries like Vietnam and Mexico, have helped keep the economy afloat. Thanks for listening, and hope your lives with fully joy and happiness. 好了，现在就是我的一个点评时刻吧，也谈不上点评吧，就是谈一谈想法呗。你看，最开始，就是在川普他还不是美国总统的时候，就怎么说呢？加关税这一招，通常就是中国会用来，就是制约一些其他国家的事情，就比如说， 时不时看到的新闻，就是说，哎呀，比如说澳大利亚或者新西兰的总统啊，或者总理啊，他们说了一个什么样的话，就是惹得中国不开心了，那中国就寄出说，哦，我要进这个产品，进那个产品，就是把关税用在来制约，就是作为一种手段，去调控自己的一个政治目标。本来就是各国大家心知肚明，但也不至于说会去效仿，因为大家会认为说这是一个，就怎么说呢，就有点像是独裁政府，它相对来说可以做出的就是说惩罚的原则。可是呢，自从川普上台之后，那相比之下，中国的这种关税制裁的话，相对于美国，就是川普上台之后这种大刀阔斧。全球范围内的一个关税的一个制定的话，就是你看，川普他制定关税的时候，他说你各国你来谈吧，你来谈吧。那这个谈的话，那就是因人而异，因人而下菜碟了。虽然他的目标说是为了美国的一个经济，为了美国有更好的一个收入，但其实我会觉得说，这就有点像小孩子过家家哦，我要跟你谈的高兴了，好，那我就分给你的东西就多一点，那我就照顾你多一点。所以如果川普已经作为一个美国总统，他把这种游戏规则带入了政治体系范畴，甚至无视了一些法律啊或者什么东西，就是你看他的很多禁令的话，就是比如说就是会被地方政府就是控告啊，然后或者说法院甚至也会驳回对于川普的政策的执行的一些违规啊或者怎么样的，但是法律它总归是有漏洞的，围绕在川普总统他边上的也肯定都是非常精英的人，就是大家是熟悉法律，也能够玩转法律的人，所以呢，这群人他们就汇在了一起，然后大家一起就是如果一群有点像游戏制造者，他们聚在一起，他们想方设法的是去玩这个游戏。那中国的话，就是虽然说中国自然也是牌桌上一名就是很有力量的人，那之前即便说中国就是已经有反抗在先了，但是我们看后来的各种，比如说欧盟啊或者什么原因的话，就大家就是还是要表现出很 gentle 的一面，就说好好你要商量，那我们就跟你商量，然后可能就是偏就是那个姿态低一点，那川普他就会觉得很愉悦。那另外一方面，可能也衬托的中国，他就有的人说就是不聪明，就不学欧洲，可是这是两个不同的国情，因为的话就是我都说了，川普的一个关税政策是双刃剑，它提升了一些收入的同时，也给国内的经济消费压力带来了很大的压力，就是普通者的消费水平受到了比较多的制约。你说货柜上现在就这些商品了，那你要加关税，那就是在原来的价格上去提价，那一提价，消费者的钱包它就购买力就会显得缩紧了。那其他的一些替代方案，就比如说从其他的生产国啊，就是再去进口下来，但讲真的话，可能价格都不一定就是能跟中国的价格有一个很好的抗衡，因为中国的话怎么说呢？中国血肉工厂啊，就是工人们他的福利待遇很低很差，然后厂里又追求生产率啊，追求效率啊，所以说整体的一个商品的一个制造业的水平，就是它的价格控制在一个，我感觉还是一个处于质量和质量和价格，就是它算性价比很高的一个选择。嗯，那所以说中国这边的话，它不是说就可能有一些产品啊，或者有一些行业的爆品，它的利润率会高一点。 但是有很多很多的商品，它其实并没有那么大的一个利润率，就是中国的劳工，你不可能再压榨他怎么样了，就是他这样，就是如果中国的劳工要求要有更好的待遇，那本来这商品的一个价格，它就得再涨一个节，所以所以是这样的。那另外一个，为什么中国会牢牢抓住稀土呢？我看这个新闻的时候，我会觉得说，你像你看，美国政府针对中国做出的决定，就是说，你像一些英伟达的一些芯片是不可以出口到中国的，嗯，这还是有一点霸权主义吧，我觉得。所以说，那像现在中国就捏住了稀土啊，或者说特朗普现在就是处于比较一个弱势的地位，就是特朗普的很大一部分选票仓是来自于那些保守州的一些票，但是那些保守州的话，大部分是比如说农民啊，或者司机啊，或者各种的，他们种植大豆、种植玉米等等，然后这部分的产品，那主要是销往中国。那中国也把这部分的捏住了，就我们就不进口。那部分的选民，他们的抱怨声就会非常的大。那特朗普的话，不管他之后是要寻求连任，或者说可能美国现有的一些，就是还是会穿插各种各样的选举，具体我也不是很清楚。但是呢，既然选票让特朗普上台，他就多多少少还是要为选民的福祉去谋福利的，是要做一些负责的。那这部分很大的一个票仓的选民都不满意了，那特朗普多多少少还是有一些压力的。那回归到稀土的话，你看，美国对中国做出了禁止芯片销售中国，那芯片或者很多东西它的制造还是要用到稀土的，那中国又掌握了75%，世界上75%的一个稀土的含量。那中国发现说，诶，那我掐住稀土这个命脉，那我就反向制约你们了，就是没有稀土，你们也制造不了芯片呢、你们制造的芯片都不卖给我，那我为什么要卖稀土给你？差不多就是这样子。但是有一天我在睡觉的时候，当我想到，就前2天在睡觉的时候，突然其实隐隐约约有一个担忧，就是说，因为前阵子就是习近平和普京就是他们前阵子的一些会晤，包括和金三胖的一些会晤，然后到现在这个转变，就是中国突然又把稀土又提上来了，这个转变的话，我其实有一点隐约的担忧，因为逻辑上我肯定是希望说，呃如果不能，就是最好是保持现状，如果现状不能更好的话，那起码不要更差，因为更差会意味着什么？意味着全球供应链的进一步的一个崩坏。然后还有一个就是说，我就是有那种很隐晦的担忧，就是说你有时候声东击西，然后就会更担心一些，可能存在安全隐患的，就是为什么就是中国就是真的要不惜一切搞砸和美国的关系吗？那美国的话就是跟台湾其实是有那种绝对支撑的，所以有时候会有这种担忧，但是所以说呢，这种担忧加上去之后，我就会觉得，哎呀，希望川普总统现在捞一笔大的之后，就适可而止的收手吧。就比如说像这一次的关税战，这样又一来一回之后，整个股市的一个暴崩，然后也被曝出新闻说川普家族又做空了，然后套利了多少多少。然后甚至川普的一个小儿子，他有一个19岁的小儿子出任了 Thaw 的一个什么董事还是什么，就是一个高级职位。 所以你看，川普是明着捞、暗着捞、横着捞、竖着捞，就是说他可能会把中美的关系搞砸，但是他的个人利益逻辑上，他的身价就升了很多，整个家族就财富雄厚了不少，所以说，且看且珍惜。好啊，会说了这么多，希望你生活愉快。